President Kiir and the UN Humanitarian Coordinator reviewed the humanitarian situation in the country. Transitional National Legislative Assembly will open its session tomorrow, Thursday. And which state embarked on agriculture to promote food security? Hello, warm evening from wherever you're tuning in. We are coming to you live from Juba with the latest news from around the country. My name is Gore Anthony. Now the news in detail. President of the Republic, Salva Kiir Mayardit, and the UN Under Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs, Stephen O'Brien, on Wednesday discussed the humanitarian situation in the country. The meeting was attended by the UN Special Representative to South Sudan, Helen Magretha.
That as a result of the continuing circumstances that we have many humanitarian needs to face, and I'm pleased that we have entered into a strong dialogue in order to be able to partner in meeting those needs and also to receive the assurances of His Excellency the President of the importance of offering protection and security for the very brave aid workers who are determined to both across the United Nations and our humanitarian partners in delivering on those life-saving needs as well as the protection of civilians. And so I appreciate very much this ongoing dialogue, this ongoing partnership, and we will do everything we can to meet the needs of the South Sudanese people at the same time as supporting everything possible to encourage and deliver peace for the people of South Sudan.
The information circulated about the rape case is something which was today, but we urge the UNIMIS here and the UN to furnish us in the foreign affairs with such information, because we only heard about it from the media, and this is a very serious allegation, and therefore the government, we wanted to engage and discuss this in detail. Secondly, the President also have informed Under Secretary that the government and the Republic of Sudan is committed to facilitate humanitarian access to all humanitarian agencies wherever they go. But we agree also that there have to be continued dialogue between the United Nations Humanitarian Agency and other UN agencies also to facilitate, to try to overcome things which may delay or maybe create misunderstanding. And I think this is the beginning of the new era, and we want to urge our people to give a chance for this new approach, but also we also inform the Undersecretary that the perception created because of the messages coming from New York on regard to the issue of sanctions and the issue of the arm embargo is what is fueling the feeling of people of South Sudan. So it is very important to tone down these languages to give room for dialogue.
President Salva Kiir Mayardit has called on the incoming IO ministers to join hands with their colleagues to bring lasting peace and stability across the nation. President Salva Kiir remarks during swearing-in ceremony of newly appointed advisors and ministers in the transitional government of national unity. The Chief Justice Chandrej Madut sworn in the advisors and the ministers before the President of the Republic and First Vice President Taban Dengai.
My duties
and responsibilities
and strive
to foster the development and welfare of its people. That I shall obey, preserve, and defend the Constitution. And abide by the law. And that I shall protect and promote the unity of the people of South Sudan. And consolidate the democratic, decentralized system of government. And preserve affirmative now, okay. Make sure that I do hereby swear by Almighty God. That as a minister. I shall be faithful. And bear true faith and allegiance to South Sudan. And shall diligently and honestly discharge my duties and responsibilities in a consultative manner to foster the development and welfare of its people. That I shall obey, preserve and defend the Constitution. And abide by the law. And that I shall protect and promote the unity of the people of South Sudan. And consolidate the democratic decentralized system of government. And preserve the integrity and dignity of the people of South Sudan. So help me God. And shall diligently and honestly discharge my duties and responsibilities. The Constitution. And abide by the law. And that the people of South Sudan. So help me God.
And responsibilities.
And strive to foster the development.
And the people
need to be told. الصراع على السلطة ده بيننا هنا نحن قاعدين هنا. المواطن ما عنده أي ذنب. But بنقتلهم ساكت بدون أي سبب ما عندهم سبب. So let us go to them and preach peace. إنه peace لازم تقبلوا سلام، لازم تقبلوا reconciliation، لازم إنه ناس يرجع في الحياة زمان. They must stay together. When we were fighting Jalaba, lo Jalaba jao lebu junubin guiding them and guiding them. Bafta neran fo. Ma basal wenu noer wenu dinka wenu letuko wenu mafi. Alitijah tanga betogum chifo pali au bishila zola akrab zola. And we were fighting together as one group, as one people. Let us go back to that sense. Kalam al-Galu Taban. المواطن البسيط العادي في countryside will not start to do anything without you, intellectuals, to them to tell them in kalam de batal. Asal mane bulu ita manjunu Sudan, uta batal. Because of the bad things that we have done to ourselves.
Very important. When you are leading nation, you must have a team. Playing football, you must have a team. If it is a relay game, there must be a team. And to have a team, there must be a leader of that team. The president is our team. Is our team leader. I fully concur with Honorable Advisor Gabriel Yaldo that all of us, we are players in the team to support our president. We are capable of doing our things, of putting our house in order. It is our country. It is not any other person's country. Your Excellency, your team assuring you full cooperation.
Bring our people back, and above all, this remain for making peace will be our entire responsibility and entire responsibility for the people of South Sudan. We are going to make this peace ourselves and not other people. That's where, when we are showing you in our last meeting, we appeal that this question of intervention, international intervention by force, is totally and we, with all our deep belief, we reject it. We are not going to accept any intervention to our country because we are capable to resolve our problem. Now, IO is going to be part of this government entirely under the leadership of General Taban Dengai. We hope now we will put our forces together. There is no nation that should have two armies.
The first Vice President Taban Dengai met with the Inspector General of Police, General Makur Marola Duot, and his deputies to discuss the integration of joint military police and to provide refreshment training to officers and non-commissioned officers of the police. Speaking to SSBC, the Inspector General of Police said they also discussed with the first Vice President cooperation between various levels of the leadership.
First Vice President of the we came to the office of Lieutenant General Taban Deng, and we to come and congratulate him for his appointment as the first Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan. We requested from him to cooperate with the President and the whole Cabinet to let South Sudan become secure and stable. Also, our request also was that integration of the integrated police, as well as the integration of the forces, the army and the IO forces, should be very fast so that South Sudan in general become normal. He promised that he will try his best to cooperate with his president and the entire cabinet of the Republic of South Sudan. Council of Ministers also, he will be there, and he will do his best to see that things move the right way so that South Sudan is stable.
And the enemies of peace and social media should consider the appointment of Taban Dengai as the chairperson of the SPLM-IO and the first Vice President of the Republic as legally binding according to the country's law. This was stated during a meeting between the first Vice President and State Assembly members of Eastern Lakes State. Speaking to SSBC, Eastern Lakes State Deputy Speaker Ayor Paul called on South Sudanese to support the transitional government of national unity to implement the peace agreement.
As a Vice President, this nomination is illegal, made by top leadership of SPLA-IO, is illegal, and I will say it is a very legal, in line with the provision of the agreement and the resolution of conflict in South Sudan. Secondly, I would like to congratulate His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit, the President of the Republic, for the appointment of General Taban Dengai as the first Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan.
And the body of the late Bishop Lugor Sokiri arrived in Juba on Wednesday morning from Nairobi, Kenya. Addressing the mourners at All Saints Cathedral, the first Vice President, Taban Dengai, described the late bishop as a man of peace who devoted his life to serve humanity. Taban Dengai urged the people of South Sudan to live in peace and unity as Christians. Addressing mourners, the Deputy Governor of Jubek State, Francis Latio, said, late Lugor was a loving father to all. On his part, the Archbishop of Episcopal Church of South Sudan, Daniel Dengbul, called on the faithful to respect and reconcile with one another.
Because once there is peace in the country, the children grow. Christians develop. And somebody who has taken the message of also getting from where he has stopped. The message I'm getting you here on behalf of our President, Salva Kiir Mayardit, is that let the country in peace, let us live in peace. Let us love ourselves. Let us love this country. Brothers and sisters, we are a nation in transition. Cannot avoid this. Our brother Salva Kiir is an elder brother. They are going through up and downs from the time of their revelation up to today. They are not perfect, but they are learn from them. Us, as South Sudanese, to listen to the leadership, even to listen to the people who are leading us. I think this is a message. That's why Zureli was asking the question. They are hearing us destroying our country. When they are hearing us killing one another, yeah, because they feel this is not the country that we were looking for. They were looking for a country that their children, their loved ones, will enjoy the land of South Sudan. A man who doesn't need a lot of pampering and sugarcoating. This man loved God, and truly loved God. His love for God is unquestionable. I met the Bishop Lava 6 years ago when I came to the cathedral to become the provost. And when he saw me, he started calling me my son.
A few minutes and I will go back to my work. He said, okay, my son, I love you because you love the work. And I was there. He has always been encouraging me. And he told me this, you will one day become a leader. I said, thank you to God. Bishop, look is an icon of peace.
And the new Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Stephen Dudau, has received congratulatory messages from a number of governors on his new assignment. The governors of Fangak, James Kokrai, of BA, Peter Bolkong, as well as Peter Lamboth of Lajor, of Southern Leach, Taker Riak, were led to the Minister's office by Presidential Advisor on Security, Tut Galwak, on Thursday. The governors also congratulated President of the Republic, Salva Kiir Mayardit, for the trust bestowed upon Stephen Dudau. United Nations reviewed the humanitarian needs in the country. The discussion took place during a meeting between the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Dr. Martin Elia Lomuro, and the Undersecretary General for UN Humanitarian Affairs, Stephen O'Brien, in Juba on Wednesday. The UN official reaffirmed their readiness to work with the government.
Acknowledge the enormous and outstanding work that is being done by so many humanitarians in partnering with the government and the people of South Sudan to ensure that they have the basic commodities for their lives and indeed to be protected where their lives are at risk.
And plans are underway to introduce French in schools across the country. The Minister of General Education, Deng Deng Hoth, said the visit to French also discussed a plan with the authorities there. The minister said he also signed a memorandum an agreement with his Egyptian counterpart, Dr. Al-Hil Asherin, in Cairo for cooperation between the two countries in education.
Support of the International Institute for Education and Planning of UNESCO, which is based in Paris. The second objective was to meet with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of France with a view to discuss and agree on their support to the ministry for us to be able to implement the new curriculum, which includes teaching of French language.
And the Transitional National Legislative Assembly will reopen for its first session tomorrow, Thursday, the 4th of August at 10 a.m. The chairperson of Assembly's Specialized Committee for Information, Oliver Mori Benjamin, called on both the old and newly appointed members of the Transitional Legislative Assembly, including members of executive, to attend the procedural sitting tomorrow.
Public announcement to all the honorable members of the National Legislative Assembly, the 332. As you are all aware, we had 26 MPs, those who had defected, and according to the agreement to resolve the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan, they are to take their seats in the expanded parliament, which will witness the light tomorrow, the 4th of August 2016, which is Thursday.
The SPLA Chief of General Staff, General Malong Awan, has called on the members of the South Sudan National Security Forces to promote loyalty and respect the right of civilians across the country. General Malong made the call during a grand parade held at Freedom Hall in Juba on Wednesday to brief the commanders of the national security on the fighting that took place in Juba last month. The same sentiment was echoed by Inspector General of Police, General Makur Marola Dot, who also called on security officials to shun ethnicity and serve the people of South Sudan with dignity and justice.
You must be loyal to issues. You must be loyal to the nation, for you know Sudan. And you must be loyal to leadership, land leadership, in the process to give a right advice through your job. Lano, you know, be kulu. Rahakum balada. Gabela yunga kulu, ayakum balada. Utama al gabela yumkin ayakum balada. Then you will be paid back. It is a matter in no lela. Ishtagal leadership wal mawjud.
دائما تلاقي مجتمع بيزول بتال بكون توسع. لكن دور ده الضباط قدروا يعملوا استجرة على القوات بتاعهم وشغل بتاعت الناس عشوائيا ده بقى ما في. فأنا ده بقول للقوة بتاعنا كله ونيجي نذكر بصفة خاصة نقول موضوع على Kalla ni na narke ni na jamma na mu ken na ga do kuma dina jiwa ne. We need to cooperate. ما بقول ترى. عامل مسؤولية مشتركة. في joint venture. لما شوف تزور واحد. حتى لو أنا بقي شاطر وأخوي ده برضو أنا ساهمت منه ما ده الوريو. I will not succeed. So we need to cooperate.
ولما الشعب يكون ما مقصود مننا يوم ما يسحب الثقة وما نكون موجودين زي ما قالوا شو مستعجلين. فسينسيلي speaking we must treat مواطن السلطة ده we must treat them يعني the best client بالنسبة لنا نحترمهم ليل ونهار. فإنه كمان بالنسبة لنا إنه نحترم المواطنين لأن المواطنين جاوا دون السلطة هنا قاعدين فيه حتى لتقويض منهم. الحاجة الثانية تكلمنا عن الايكونوميك كرايمز. امبارح بيشترك فيه كل الأجهزة الأمنية without any exception. عندنا الضباط والأفراد في المطار، عندنا الضباط والأفراد في economic intelligence في البنوك، عندنا الضباط والأفراد في economic intelligence في النملة. ما عندهم exception. You can say في ناس منهم قاعدين بيعمل شغل نظيف وفي ناس منهم قاعدين بيعمل شغل بس. يعني احنا في كل المحاضرات بتاعنا بنتكلم انه اي دول قبلي ما عنده محل معنا. وقالوا الاي جي بي وقالوا شبه بستان. وذاك الكلام اللي اتكلموا دائما فيكم انه في كرايسيس بتاع 2013 كرايسيس بتاع 2016 there has never been a soldier or an officer within our service that has ever turned a silah ضد زميله. فرقنا انه
The governor of Amadi State, Joseph Ingere, said the results of the struggle by the martyrs during the liberation movement is the freedom that the people of South Sudan are enjoying today. Addressing a gathering during the commemoration of Martyrs' Day in Mundri, the governor said the fallen heroes and heroines dedicated their lives to liberate the people of South Sudan from the hands of oppressors. The governor called on the people of the state to embrace peace and love one another.
For the people of South Sudan on July 9, 2011, the biggest task ahead of us is the building of nationalism and the patriotism in hearts and minds of every South Sudanese. The setback by December 15, 2013 failed coup attempt, which later developed into full-scale armed struggle by some disgruntled politicians, was due to lack of nationalism, patriotism, and democratic maturity.
And the government and the people of Congratulatory State have congratulated President Salva Kiir Mayardit for appointing Taban Dengai as the first Vice President of the Republic. Governor Abraham Goum was addressing a celebration of Martyrs' Day in the state capital, Kwajok. The governor commended the role played by martyrs that led to South Sudan's independence. He urged South Sudanese to live in peace and reconcile with one another to achieve development.
Of this party, the formation of the leadership for the state will put in place soon so that we start preparing ourselves for the election in accordance with the current agreement.
The governor of Wau State, Andrea Mayar, is in Juba to brief the national government on the security situation in Wau. The governor told SSBC upon arrival at Juba International Airport on Wednesday that the farmers in Wau State were busy cultivating.
So a lot of them they used to go outside the town to cultivate, especially during the weekend, for those who are working in the government institutions. And the rest, they are free to, at any time to go to rural areas. So there is movement from rural areas to the town and from the town to the
The Under-Secretary of the United Nations for Humanitarian Coordinator for Emergency Relief, Stephen O'Brien, has expressed willingness to supply humanitarian assistance such as shelter, medicine, and food to the needy in Awil and the neighboring state. Our reporter, Jamie Sarusi, has more.
Ushered by the state governor, Ronald Riding, Stephen O'Brien, as the emergency relief boss, journey to Awil is to carry a visual report on the humanitarian needs state.
We're here to find out how we can do better, and to partner with the local services and to try and make sure people are safe and have access to the life-saving and supporting services that they need.
Need for food and health service in the state is said to be enormous. In O'Brien's visit to Awil Hospital, several patients were women and children, putting this vulnerable group in great need of support.
To see the humanitarian needs here, you can see it in the eyes of the mothers cradling extremely malnourished babies in the stabilization unit of the hospital. And it's absolutely vital that we make a proper assessment of the scale of need which has arisen because of all the challenges, both climate and harvesting and seasonal.
However, the state government is said to be on its mark with the initiative to ensure positive harvest and food stock in the next harvesting season.
The conference also came up with a resolution that every household has to cultivate 2 fedans of their farms in every household, so that we fight hunger and get rid of household level. We had big plans, we had a big vision. Unfortunately, we could not reach the target. We were targeting 2,500 fedans we cultivated this year in 5 counties, but we only managed to do 250 fedans in 2 counties.
Under Secretary General on Emergency Relief, Stephen O'Brien's arrival into South Sudan is just less than a month after WFP reported of vandalization on its food stores in Juba during the 5 days of fighting earlier last month. So far, Stephen O'Brien has not made a statement to SSBC to comment on the incident. SSBC, James Arusi.
Thank you, Jamie Sarusi, for that report. Moving on, farmers across the country are making use of the rainy season. As our reporter Tech Stephen reports from Twitch State, farmers are gearing up to change the perception of agriculture across the country.
As the rain season continues, residents in Twitch State are making the best out of the season by planting their crops in abundance. Villagers in the area have embarked on cultivation with large-scale farming intended for cash crop. According to Diumchir, a farmer and a businessman, is the only way to fight the looming hunger which has threatened most part of the country.
If it yields properly, I will not buy sorghum or cereal in the market. I will buy only raw material, and also I will sell this out and build my house here. I'll sell it out and get my cow. I'll sell it out and get a goat and chicken. I'll sell out and put in get $1 in the pocket. So if somebody looking for dollars, don't look for dollars in Juba. Dollar is not in Wow. Dollars is not in Malakal. It's in the countryside, in our soil. So let us work together, all of us work together, enlighten the generation which are sitting under the trees to come out from the trees, insulting the government from the morning up to evening. That government is not giving us salary, will not do anything.
شغل تزرع هل البسايدنا في الزراعة شنو؟ يدي المعقولات للناس. أنا بقدر بزرع أنا ندي المعقولات للناس. كل أي زول برضو اللي عنده ولا ما عنده طبعا يشتغلوا لنا طبعا هنا دعم هنا ده. طبعا كله لو زول اللي عنده ولا طبعا نزرعوا له. لكن أنو تجيب جاز عند الشغل بتاعنا. الزراعة ده طبعا بيساعدنا. هسه عندنا ده زراعة بتاع بيت ساعة. ده ما زراعة. ده 52 فدان.
Regardless of age and gender, villagers in Twitch State are taking up farming as a source of livelihood. The able-handed farmers are opening up tens of kilometers of mechanized farming, while the unprivileged are up on their hoes, rendering as per their time and energy would allow. And judging by the amount of quantity and quality of sorghum and maize planted by farmers in Twitch State this year, one can only be optimistic of a successful harvest.
There are no tractors. About 50 or 100 men can work collectively and clean a large space to expand the farm.
The job is hard, of course, but to make it easy, we divide the farm into portions that will yield a great harvest.
While many people say hunger is an obstacle to development, residents of this area of Wundrock County of Twitch State are proving wrong indeed, as these young men behind me are taking up the machineries of agriculture to prove and demonstrate to the entire country that this country is a fertile country that will feed not only itself, but the entire region. Reporting for SSBC, I'm Stephen.
Thank you. Thanks, Stephen, for that report. Moving on, General Awad Akio, a member of the SPLMIO from Budu State who has joined government, has called on those still out there to join the transitional government of national unity to speed up the implementation of the peace agreement. Awad made their plea at Juba International Airport prior to departure to Budu State on Wednesday. He said he is fully committed to the implementation of peace deal on the resolution of conflict in South Sudan.
أنا عميدي ركن يوهانا أوادي أكيو من الغرب الاستوائية محافظة إبا وقائد العسكر في المعارضة بولاية غرب الاستوائية من إبا أب تو نجر. والهانا المقصود عندي مامي مع قوة بتولاية غرب الاستوائية الكل موجود معنا في باقاق اتوصلنا هنا لجوبا وانتم زي شايفين الدوبات واقفين. انا بحي الرئيس بتاعتنا بتاع جنوب السودان الفريق الاول سالفا كير مايارديت المرتكب عاجل السلام والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وكل أخواني في الجيش. أنا ما عندي كتير. الرسالة بتاعي بالعربي البسيط لكل الجنوبيين، جينا للسلام للجنوبيين كله بالذات الإيكواتوريا وولاية غرب الاستوائية كان هو فما غرب الاستوائية الكبرى
ولاية بدوي. وأنا ما بقول كلام كتير، لكن أنا بشكر العميد ركن عوض مع زملاء بتوعه عشان خطوة اللي هم أخدوا. ده خطوة وقرار وطني عشان كيف يرجع في بلد بتاعهم عشان بلد بتاعهم ده ينمي.
And before we wind up, let's have some public announcement. Congratulatory message from Ngok Lual Yak elders who congratulated President of the Republic Salva Kiir Mayardit for appointing Taban Dengai as the first Vice President of the Republic to implement the peace agreement. Ngok Lual Yak elders also thanked President for appointing their son Stephen Dew as the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning. They hope that Stephen Dew will improve the economy to promote stability, peace, and unity across the nation. Low Nuer community congratulates President Salva Kiir Mayardit for appointing Gabriel Yol Dok as Presidential Advisor on Social Services. Gabriel Yol is a hard-working person, selfless, honest, nationalist, and a man of integrity. The appointment of Gabriel will bring unity, peace and reconciliation in South Sudan and beyond. Terkeke State Governor Juma Ali Molo congratulates President Salva Kiir Mayardit for the trust he bestowed upon the four comrades who were nominated by the SPLM and others, and whom the President finally appointed to their rightful position as mentioned below. Anthony Lino Makana, as the Speaker of South Sudan National Legislative Assembly in the interim period of the Transitional Government of National Unity, and Stephen Dudau as the National Minister of Finance and Economic Planning in the Transitional Government of National Unity. The two officials will promote peace and unity, prosperity and development, and economic reforms in our nation. Despite all the tempting moments, the people of Terkeke State are fully committed and vowed to continue to rally all the necessary support needed behind the President, whatsoever the cost, so that President can accomplish the mission and vision of bringing people of South Sudan to the last moment of paradise, joy, peace, and prosperity. Mrs. Natalina Aweng, the Acting Executive Director for the First Ladies Organizations concerning women and children, congratulates President Salva Kiir Mayardit and the SPLM-IO leadership for appointing Taban Dengai as the first Vice President in the Transitional Government of National Unity. The First Ladies Organization wishes them success and is confident that the new ministers and the first Vice President will make a positive impact on the nation's progress. Let's have a quick recap of our main stories once again making up the headlines.